So apologies for yesterday. I made a video that I later on took down for some issues, but I will re-upload it another day. With that being said, let's get to this right here, because the SEC could be coming after Hex and its influencers. So stay tuned, like and subscribe. Let's get right onto it. Now, I read today on Cointelegraph that the SEC has issued, a subpoena to influencers who promoted Hex pretty much, which was my video yesterday, the opening of my video yesterday, but there was some issues with that video, so I had to take it down. Now, Hex, Pulsechain and PulseX, whoever had promoted them and got paid to promote them could be in trouble. I'm not sure how true this is, but Cointelegraph has published it, so it could be the case. Now, a subpoena as part of an investigation which demanded Hex influencers in question to produce the required documents. I don't know what these documents are that they asked them to produce, but it is very, it could be very indeed true. This guy here, Eric Wall, he broke the thing. He's a journalist or some guy that's, let's just say he doesn't like Hex and Hexicans. They've been going back and forth with him for for a while now. And he's been calling Hex a scam, and Hexicans have been attacking him, and the back and forth just doesn't stop from there. So he says, guys, it's happening on Twitter. Hexican influencers are getting subpoenaed by the SEC over Hex, Pulsechain and PulseX. The Hex information channels are filled with information about how to shred the digital evidences. So basically he's saying that Hexicans are running around on Telegram and Discord and everywhere, Hexican influencers telling each other, hey, let me show you how to shred these evidences and wipe out these informations before the SEC could get to them. Because these letters are literally asking these people to provide these information, and it's not looking good for Hexicans. This part, for example, says the documents to be produced, right? Documents sufficient to disclose all domestic and foreign bank, brokerage, cryptocurrency, and other financial accounts held by you, the influencer, on your behalf and for your benefit, and also any digital asset, wallet addresses held by you, the influencer, and also on your behalf for your benefit. All agreements, documents, communications concerning Hex, Richard Hart, Pulsechain or PulseX, including but not limited to agreements concerning you or your representative's promotion of Hex, Pulsechain and PulseX. Basically, anything included in them, talking about Richard Hart and Hex and Pulsechain and PulseX, they have to produce and hand over to the SEC as part of an investigation against Hex and Richard Hart. This is absolutely scary, and my advice to Hex influencers is just to be cautious, man. If you ever, it just goes back to what I was saying, bro. I've made the same case with my Drip Network people and everybody else. I don't care if you're in Elephant Money, Drip, Fury or whatever. If you are an influencer, stop laying in bed with these developers and founders. Stop taking their money. They're paying you to promote these things, and then when the thing goes down, you catch the heat because you and your big mouth as an influencer was out there promoting these platforms, and underneath they were paying you. If they're putting money in your pockets to do that, it's a battery boosting thing, but they're putting battery on your back to go and boost it, and then you go on YouTube, you start, building audiences and building teams and doing all these kinds of stuff. As long as you're doing that as a normal investor, then that's fine. But the problem occurs when the developers, you get too close to these developers. I see a lot of YouTubers making that mistake, and I've seen that over the past few years. People think I say that because I'm a hater and all this other stuff. No, I've seen that happen. It happened with BitConnect. It happened with, all these other platforms that came after BitConnect. Each and every YouTuber that was promoting heavy and they were so close to these developers and founders, when the thing goes down, they get into trouble with the SEC and regulations and all the law and all this kind of stuff, and it's messy. You be so ashamed and embarrassed. Most of them won't even show their faces back in this space because of what they did, riding out so hard, marrying these projects as if this is the best thing ever and it's going to change your life. But then when the dream goes bust, The developer is never to be found. The founder's gone. You know, usually they quadrigacy X you. They can clean exit and say, hey man, I'm out of here. Exit scam, like the guy who allegedly just died mysteriously with the keys of everybody else and just left. So founders and developers can take the exit while everybody else takes the heat. So my take on that, be cautious if you are an influencer and you are getting too close to a project and the founders and the developers started to pay you now to promote, and that is where the danger lies, because Hex is now being investigated allegedly. I don't know how true this is. Hopefully this right here could help them. This disclaimer has been sitting up here for 2 years now about nothing on hex.com is a financial advice. You need to do your own research, yada yada, all that good stuff. No expectations of profit from the work of others is to be done, even with the sacrifices. Richard Hart has done it so smart and brilliantly that you are not to expect anything if you sacrifice. You pretty much was just sacrificing for freedom of speech. But the thing that I'm worried about is this right here, Hex's, certificate of deposit. This 38% APY returns per year. This beats any bank in the world pretty much. So I'm guessing he has something that backs up this. Hex does have some Ponzi-nomics, but I don't think Hex as a whole, as a cryptocurrency itself, is a Ponzi scheme. So Richard Hart just brilliantly used some Ponzi-nomics and put it on Hex. But Hex as a whole, I do not believe is a scam. In my opinion, Hex is the best performing altcoin that I have ever seen in crypto, ever. Like, no altcoin I have ever seen has done a 10,000x. The only coin you could argue that beat Hex, and not in the past 4 years, but because that coin lasted 10 years, is the first crypto ever created, and that is Bitcoin. It's up like a million something percent, millions of percentage. Bitcoin went from pennies to where it is right now, but it took 12 years for Bitcoin to do that. So that's the only coin that's better than Hex long term, pretty much, like for the last 10 years. But even that, Hex beat Bitcoin and outperformed every single altcoin on the market over the past 3 years, and that is absolutely impeccable, clean record, impressionable. It's just crazy. But what Hex did, 10,000x, if you would have seen that, I would have sold all my Cardano, everything, every altcoin that I had, and just dump it into Hex back in 2019 and 2020. So Hex did outperform every single altcoin. But even that doesn't stop the SEC from coming after Hex. And it's sadly, Richard Hart just gonna have to fight this. And it's not a good look for him anyway, because it's just the way he behaves, man. Like, dude, look at this. Look at that. Like, this is not helping, bro. I think, the noise that he made, him going to America, like taking Eric Wohl's challenge, like he's not scared to go back to the States and doing podcasts and all this other stuff. Gucci buying all this stuff, like they're watching, bro. And if they decide to come after him, he could be in a ton load of trouble. And another thing that is not helping Richard Hart's case right now is the Hexicans who are so mad, like late Hexicans, people who invested in Hex late. They put a ton load of money, sacrificed it in Pulsechain and PulseX. And those people are waiting for a new chain, a mainnet to come on, something to come up. But Richard Hart has only given them a test net. He's not a dev, but his devs are really, really slow. I don't know what they're waiting for, but by the time this comes out, I don't know, a blockchain named Aptos or some new blockchain could come out and beat Pulsechain and PulseX to the punch. Everybody's waiting for Pulsechain and PulseX to literally destroy Ethereum and be the second largest cryptos by market cap, take over the whole game, because they were going to be cheaper in fees or whatever, so allegedly. But some people are saying Pulsechain or PulseX are not going to be cheaper in fees. So he kind of fumbles the bag really, really bad. Richard Hart, I don't know what he's doing right now, but yeah, this right here, this has to stop. Like, he just needs to chill with that and try to fight his SEC case if they ever throw him that letter. you know, because he could go to jail, you know, some bad stuff could happen to him, because you don't want what happened to that McAfee guy to happen to Richard Hart. God forbid, you know, may he be alive for a long time. No one wishes harm on Richard Hart. You don't want what happened to Epstein and them to happen to Richard Hart, because it winds up like this, bro. Dude fakes his own death, and he can fake his own death and leave, or some bad stuff could happen to him, or some people could be after him. Last year there was some rich people in Dubai or something that sacrificed, that was giving him trouble, him Richard Hart, but they didn't know where he was. I don't know how the story ended, but Richard Hart just needs to be cautious, bro. He's making a lot of noise, and moving like this is not helping his case, honestly. So yeah, influencers, just be cautious taking payments from these founders and developers to promote any coins and token. One guy who really redeemed himself is this dude, man. Shout out to Bitboy Crypto. He just dropped this video here. Take a look at this.
I'm sorry. It's something I didn't think I would ever have to say, at least about this one thing. Today, we're going to be talking about a business model in crypto that is so toxic that it must stop now. And I'm talking about the token or coin promotion business. It acts as a poison chalice passed from one bull run's influencers to the next. And I can tell you that I'm sorry that I did them. Knowing what I know now about the way this business works, I wish I could go back in a DeLorean and tell myself not to do it. But look, making money in crypto and as a content creator, it's a good thing. People build businesses. It's not a bad thing. However, we're moving on to our fourth Bitcoin bull run and our third altcoin cycle. And now things are becoming clear on what works and what doesn't work. Corporate sponsors, exchange sponsorships, wallet sponsorships, unstoppable domains, great partnership, paid newsletters, courses. These are all things that are okay to do in crypto, in my opinion. But promoting tokens, it doesn't work. And I would really say promoting NFTs probably fits that same model. Also, taking private sale investments with an expectation from a project that you're going to give them coverage for that, those things are not okay. And they're damaging to the space. When I began my YouTube channel, the model that I had from the YouTubers from 2017, there were a lot of undisclosed promotions. There were a lot of pumping their own bags, a lot of pump and dumps. Of course, not every YouTuber fit that description, but that was a very common thing back then. That was the model that was passed on. Obviously, that wasn't a good model. So I thought to myself, when I began my career here on YouTube, if I disclose every ad I ever do, that will be enough. And certainly, don't ever pump and dump. It's not an advantageous strategy long-term for a YouTube channel that plans to be around as long as I am. But what I didn't realize was that in reality, there's nothing you can do to defend the token promotion business. See, there's a lot of predators out there, and sometimes the audience feels like the prey, but I can tell you, I definitely have felt like the prey as well. From a fundamental standpoint, tokens that want promotion, they're really only after one thing. They're wanting to see the price of their token go up. They want to shortcut the hard work of creating a product that stands for itself. In crypto, of course, it would be a platform or whatever it might be, but where's the value? Many of these projects, they launch and they raise money and they haven't even built the thing yet. And sometimes I can be a little naive and I can be too trusting, and I would listen to people when they would tell me their use case and what they were building, and they would get me excited. It's like, man, yeah, that sure does sound like something that's gonna be good. My audience will like it. Yeah, it's gonna do great. And it might do great for a week or two after a video, but like 95% of those projects are dead, or are at least not on the right track. There are certainly a few exceptions, but think about the projects that never did token promotions. Cardano, XRP, BNB, Sandbox, Litecoin even, Ethereum. They didn't need to do token promotion because they were really passionate about building something, and that took the priority. And
there you go. Passion, guys, passion. Cardano, XRP, and all of this. When people talk about them, they're not paying us. Of course, we know we're not getting paid from it, but crypto, you know, sometimes it's passion. It's not always about the money and all this coin go up syndrome and all this other stuff, man. It's passion. You believe in the tech. You believe. I made a Cardano song way back in 2020. Check it out. Maybe I'll put it in the link in the description box below, because I believed in the technology. I believed in the founders and the promoters, and I believed that you know, people need economic identity when it comes to cryptocurrencies, man. It was giving us a new wave of just a new identity economically, where you don't need to rely on your bank all the time to go get loans and do all this other stuff. You could stake your Cardano and make a ton load of money with it. You can hold your Cardano and watch it go up significantly when you can make a ton load of money. 90% of the content I promoted here from 2020 to 2021, go back and watch my oldest videos. You would see it's just Cardano, Cardano, Cardano. Randomly I would drop a Bitcoin video or some video about VeChain and all these other altcoins, but I wasn't really fully invested into those. I didn't put $100 into 100 different projects. I stuck to one, and that's Cardano, and that's what took me my portfolio from like $10,000 above, way above $100,000, and I did it that way. That's why when I make a HBAR video, you're gonna want to pay attention to it. When I make a quant video, pay attention to it. I'm picking some few winners that I'm sticking with next bull cycle, and that is, to me, the pretty much the way to go. Taking these promotions and all, and I get them. I've shown people here before on this channel, people try to pay me anything, any and everything. Just take it, promote it. We just need one video from you, and I always refuse to do it, because not all money is good money, bro. That's it. I don't want to grow like that. I don't want to be remembered as the guy who just took everybody's payment and just sold out and promoted his things. This is why I always say I don't even want to build teams or none of that. Let the people who do that, man. That's not me.
When those projects fail or the prices go down, who wins and who loses? Of course, in any buy or sell, 50% of the people win, 50% lose. That 50% who win, in this case, is tilted heavily towards one specific group. I know what you're thinking. You think it's the YouTubers, you think it's the influencers. No, it's the founders of those projects. It's the teams looking to get the promotion done, because it's the perfect setup. They do a promotion and a video comes out, awareness gets brought to the project. They may do several videos in one day, and then all of a sudden awareness, and people get excited and they start buying this token and the price goes up. Just enough for the founders to cash out. But guess who's left holding the bag? The person that did the video, because we are the front-facing person. So the people who win are the teams, the founders, the insiders. They dump the coin. They take advantage of the liquidity from the users who go in and buy it. And meanwhile, there's a timestamp on a chart of a moment where a video came out, and quite often that can be exactly where the difference between winning and losing sits. And so what does that look like? The people doing the videos are the ones doing it. But this, as I said earlier, is a predatory business. And certainly there are some YouTubers out there that have done that. I mean, that's a guarantee. But I know the people in this space. I know almost every big YouTuber, and they understand what's at stake when you do things that are immoral or unethical or maybe even illegal. And most of them aren't willing to take that risk. It's common sense. But the evidence looks so damning because the video and the chart, they align. And here at Bitboy Crypto, we put in a lot of policies to try to fit these token promotions into a box, where if they all fit the certain qualification, it would be a winning deal for everybody. But each time we put in a new policy, it wouldn't end up working. There would be a new wrinkle, because the
yeah, if they just use you as a tool and they leave the YouTubers to take the blame pretty much. And I always try to advise my fellow YouTubers in that, especially people who are doing these promotions of these DeFi projects and that, and they every day they come up with a new AMA. I know the founder, I know the developer, he's really trustworthy. How many times have you heard that? The developer is really trustworthy, guys, and this is the guy, and this is, I think he's the man, he's gonna get you this, he's gonna make you that. And then when it rugs, he's standing there looking stupid now, telling you to put on your big boy pants, as if he didn't lure you in, as if he didn't convince you indirectly to get into the project. but really don't click my link, don't do. Like, this is how they move. People like that could wind up in a boatload of trouble if the SEC storms in here. Don't think they're gonna forget about what happened with my diamond team and you know, yield node and all this other crap that happened, that these people have done. If you take payments from these founders and promoters, and every time your channel is known to do stuff like that, trust me, you're gonna be in a ton load of trouble, bro. You better watch out. And this is the difference between the likes of those YouTubers and us, because Nakamoto, you've seen him from like 2 years ago take Cardano from 8 cents all the way to $3. Free promotion, nobody ever paid me anything, but I believed in an ecosystem and everything. I said, guys, this is a buy from 8 cents. And everybody who have gotten into Cardano at that time is still thanking me to this day. This is what I want my channel to be. Let's find these unicorns on a lower basis. We invest into them, and bull market comes, it comes into fruition, and then we win. This is has been the floor basis model of my channel for how long now? You have never seen me come over here and said, hey, I'm building a team and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and the developer have paid me this much and that much. Any video that I make, even with DeFi, it's on my own accord and I put my own money in it. And I always tell people, don't even get under me, bro. Just get under somebody else and go through with your journey by yourself. That's the one thing I don't do, is just take payments from this, because the likes of this, bro, Bitboy is a good dude, but people have annihilated him because of founders betraying him and a lot of stuff. Look at the stuff that happened with Celsius. These people were heavily promoting Celsius, and when it went down, Mazinski literally cowered it away and left them to blame. Like, the people who were promoting Celsius and BlockFi and all this, they got into trouble too because of all of this mess that was going on. They leave the YouTuber to promote it, and then they don't care about the rest. So sadly, with crypto and DeFi, and you know, any DeFi project that you promote, whichever project it is, especially the ones we've been covering for the past 8-9 months here, any one of them you project, if you're a YouTuber, stay away from the developer paying you money, putting money on the side in the pocket, because you've seen what happened to Hex. They literally, SEC asked the Hexican promoters and the YouTubers that, yo, we need documents of you, Richard Hart, giving you some money if you ever been paid allegedly. You know, we need evidence of you making videos, promoting it, and you talking about Pulsechain and PulseX. Hand us all of these ones as part of our investigation. Imagine if they come and pick Drip, for example, and go after its top influencers. So if you are promoting these things, you better be careful taking money from developers and founders, because most likely these projects, they don't have the money XRP has to fight the SEC. XRP has billions of dollars. That's why they're fighting the SEC, and it's an ongoing battle for 2 years now. Is Hex a security? I will leave that for you to decide, and let me know in the comment section below. Now, if you are a DeFi project, I do not think you have enough money to fight the SEC. What do you think is going to happen if the SEC start handing out letters to the likes of Drip and all these other platforms? They're going to crumble and tuck their tails and run away like every other DeFi project would do, pretty much, because they don't have the budget to go after the SEC to say, we are Drip, we are certificate of deposits, and we are legit. I don't think they have enough lawyers in the world or millions in the world to do that. If they come over here and start questioning the animal farm and DeFi and ask, how decentralized really are you? Because people think because it says decentralized finance is peer-to-peer, no one's going to come after us. That's not the case. There have been DeFi projects that have been hit up, and it only took one man, right? For example, in the Hex case, to a few weeks ago, if you remember, the guy who lost a little bit of money with Hex, and he tried to sue Hex or something like that, and people just dismissed it and they laughed about it. That could have been the thing that brought the attention to the SEC. You know, you never know. It only takes one guy to go and complain and start snitching on everybody, and then the whole thing will come down to the floor. So you never know, bro. Gaining attractions as an influencer, just be extra cautious. going extra hard with these DeFi projects, because you always learn a valuable lesson after that. That's why I sit back and I always laugh when I see these people ride out hard for these DeFi projects, as if you know the developer and you've been best friends with him, and you don't even know these guys. You've only known them for a couple months or a couple weeks on YouTube, and all of a sudden you're doing AMAs with them. You think you're slick, that they really like you and all this other stuff. When the bridge burns, you'll be the first one they kick out the door, and they run away and leave you to be blamed because you made a ton load of video. If 95% of your videos is about promoting DeFi projects that the developers are paying you to do, imagine how much in a world of trouble you are going to be. So with that being said, let me know in the comment section below, in the case of Hex and Hex influencers, what are your thoughts on this SEC case? Do you think SEC is just going to stop here with Hex? Are they going to come after Richard? Or after that, do you think that they could come after these DeFi projects as well? So like up the video, share it, subscribe for some crypto content. I have been Mr. Nakamoto Crypto, and I'm out.